John Milton Bryant, age 90, of Childersburg, will be March 8th at 2 p.m. at St. Mary's Episcopal Church in Childersburg. Visitation 1 hour prior to the service at the church. Mr. Bryant died March 3rd while a resident at Colonel Robert L. Howard Veterans Home in Pell City. Online condolences at CurtisandSonFH.com. Curtis and Son Funeral Home, Childersburg Chapel, directing the funeral service for Mr. John Milton Bryant, age 90. That service Thursday, 2 o'clock, from St. Mary's Episcopal Church in Childersburg. Memorial service for Mr. Samuel Montgomery will be Sunday at 2 p.m. from the Childersburg Chapel of Curtis and Son Funeral Home. Online condolences at CurtisandSonFH.com. Curtis and Son Funeral Home, Childersburg Chapel, directing. And Mr. Charles Young of Sylacauga died at his residence on Tuesday. Curtis and Son Funeral Home, North Chapel, will announce the arrangements. Funeral service for Teresa J. Narr, age 58, is today at noon from Wright's Funeral Home Chapel in Alexander City. Pastor Ronnie Jennings officiating. Interment in the New Life Memorial Gardens. Mrs. Narr died Wednesday, February 28th in Dothan, Alabama. Memorial messages can be sent to the family at wrightsfuneralservice.com. Wright's Funeral Home, Alexander City, in charge of the arrangements. Funeral service for Mrs. Helen D. Phillips, age 91, of Alexander City, will be Thursday at 2 o'clock from Radley Funeral Home. The Reverend Alton Bird and the Reverend Jeremy Johnson will officiate burial in the Alexander City Cemetery. The family will receive friends Thursday from noon until 2 at the funeral home. Mrs. Phillips died Sunday, March 4th at her residence. In lieu of flowers, memorials can be made to the home church for Mrs. Phillips, Liberty Baptist Church, 1365 Hillaby Street, Alexander City, Alabama, 35010. Memorial messages may be sent to the family at radleyfuneralhome.com. Radley Funeral Home directing. Graveside service for Mrs. Johnny Crabb Hayes, age 92, of Kelladon, is today at 2:30 from Kelladon Memory Garden, with Jack Sorrell and his wife Carla officiating. The family receiving friends today, noon until service time at the funeral home. Mrs. Hayes died Sunday, March 4th at Chapman Healthcare Center. She was a member of the Kelladon Baptist Church. Memorial messages may be sent to the family at radleyfuneralhome.com. Radley Funeral Home directing. Meredith Pope, age 74, of Alpine, died Tuesday at her residence. Funeral arrangements are pending. They'll be announced by Radley Smith Funeral Home. Stephen Dean, age 52, of Sylacauga, died on Tuesday at Brookwood Medical Center in Birmingham. Funeral arrangements are incomplete. They'll be announced, however, by Radley Smith Funeral Home. Robert Hosea Tanner Jr., age 85, died March 4th. Funeral service will be held on Friday at 11 a.m. from Pine Hill Memorial Park Mausoleum in Talladega. The Reverend Keith Pugh will officiate the service. Mr. Tanner was a native of Talladega, graduate of Talladega High School in 1950. He attended the University of Alabama, was a veteran of the Korean War. Online condolences at ursreefuneralhome.com. Ursree Funeral Home, Talladega directing. Teresa K. Ponder, age 60, died March 5th. Funeral service Friday at 11 a.m. from Ursree Funeral Home Chapel. Visitation on Thursday as well. The family will receive friends 6 p.m. until 8 p.m. on Thursday. Mrs. Ponder was a native of Sycamore, Alabama, and been a resident of Talladega for many years. She was also a member of the Southside Baptist Church. Online condolences at ursreefuneralhome.com. Ursree Funeral Home, Talladega directing. Funeral service for Colonel William Sonny Ellis Josie, age 87, is Thursday at 2 o'clock from Midway Memory Gardens Funeral Home Chapel, with Reverend Don Barnett officiating. Burial in the Midway Memory Gardens Cemetery. The family will receive friends Thursday from noon until 2 p.m. At the funeral home. Colonel Josie died Saturday, March 3rd at Adams Nursing Home. He was a resident of Talladega. Midway Memory Gardens Funeral Home, Talladega, directing. Valerie Jones, age 61, died March 4th at Sylacauga Health and Rehab. Funeral arrangements to be announced later by Sunset Memorial Chapel. Online condolences at sunsetmc.com. Sunset Memorial Chapel, Childersburg, directing. Sarah Diane Howell, age 65, died January 21st at her residence. She was a native of Talladega, attended Talladega High School, and graduated with the class of 1970. Celebration of Life ceremony will be held March 10th from 2 until 3 at New Hope Baptist Church in Talladega. Dr. Garrett Hagan Jr., age 88, better known as Joe Hagan, died Sunday, March 4th at the VA Medical Center in Tuscaloosa. Dr. Hagan was born in Sylacauga in 1929. A graveside service will be held Friday at 12:30 from Alabama National Cemetery in Montevallo. In lieu of flowers, the family has requested that memorials be given in honor of Dr. Hagan to the Wounded Warrior Project, P.O. Box 758517, Topeka, Kansas, 877-832-6997. Of course, Dr. Hagan was a longtime veterinarian here in this area. He is also a member of the Alabama National Guard's 20th Special Forces Group in Birmingham, and completed 32 parachute jumps before retiring with the rank of major. Jefferson Memorial, Trussville, directing that service. Mabel Garrett, age 80, died March 4th. Funeral arrangements to be announced by Terry's Metropolitan Mortuary, Talladega. Maureen Lillian Darton Hill of Talladega died Sunday, March 4th at her residence. She was 77 years old. Visitation for Mrs. Hill will be Thursday, March 8th from 5 until 7 at Ursery Funeral Home in Talladega, followed by a funeral service on Friday at 2 p.m. from St. Peter's Episcopal Church in Talladega, with Father Ben Turnage officiating. Burial in the Pine Hill Memorial Park. Online condolences at urseryfuneralhome.com. Ursery Funeral Home, Talladega, directing. Celebration of life for Gary Blade Runner Chapman, age 55, is 1 o'clock today at Kingston Missionary Baptist Church, with interment in the Kingston Memorial Gardens. The body will lie in state at the church 1 hour prior to the service. Online condolences at terrysmortuary.com. Terry's Metropolitan Mortuary, directing. And funeral service for Ellis Baird, age 64, of Goodwater, is today at 2 o'clock from Rock Springs Baptist Church, with the Reverend Charles Stone officiating. Burial in the adjoining cemetery. Mr. Baird died Saturday, March 3rd at Russell Medical Center in Alexander City. He was a native of Coosa County. The family will receive friends, receiving friends until 12:30 today at the residence of Mr. Baird at 819 Highway 63, Goodwater, Alabama. Online condolences at BenefieldFuneralHome.com. Benefield Funeral Home in Lineville, Alabama, in charge of the arrangements. These obituaries brought to you this morning by Curtis & Son Funeral Home, the North Chapel on Highway 21 in Sylacauga, and the Childersburg Chapel on Highway 280 in Childersburg. 256-245-4361 for pre-need funerals, burials, or cremation since 1975. Curtis & Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg.